So today we're heading to Italy, but we're going to look beyond the usual postcards, the ancient ruins and Renaissance art, to uncover a nation that is quietly, but very, very powerfully shaping the future.
When I say Italy, what's the first thing that pops into your head? I'm guessing it's the Colosseum, right? Or maybe gondolas in Venice. Amazing pasta. It's a country that feels defined by its history, like a giant living museum of art and culture. But what if that's only half the story?
Because today, Italy is also this, a laboratory for the future, a place where incredible, cutting-edge innovation isn't just coexisting with the past, it's actually reinventing it. It's this fascinating mix of the ancient and the ultra-modern, and we're about to dive into exactly how that works.
Okay, let's start with how Italy is using technology to literally unlock its own history. This is where the past meets the future, and honestly, the results are pretty amazing. Just picture this. You're wandering through a tiny cobblestone village in northern Italy, and you come across a beautiful centuries-old church that's always locked up. Well, believe it or not, there's an app for that now. You just pull out your phone and you can unlock the doors to over 70 of these historic chapels, some of them built back in the 11th century. It's such a simple, smart solution that uses digital tools to make all this fragile history accessible to everyone. Now, let's head south to Pompeii. Take a look at this number, 30. What do you think that represents? Well, get this. It's the number of years it could take a team of experts to piece together just one shattered fresco from the ancient city. It's a puzzle with thousands of pieces, and it's almost impossible to solve by hand. And this quote, man, it really captures the scale of the problem. You've got thousands of tiny fragments smashed by Vesuvius, damaged over time. Trying to put them back together by hand is just a monumental, decades-long task.
So what's the fix? It's called the Repair Project, and it is brilliant. It's an intelligent robotic system that uses 3D scanning and AI to analyze every single tiny fragment. Then robotic arms physically test the matches with millimeter precision. Now, this isn't about replacing the human experts. It's about giving them superpowers, potentially cutting that reconstruction time in half. It's just this perfect fusion of archaeology and artificial intelligence.
So we've seen how Italy's innovating with its past, but how do Italians themselves actually feel about the future? Let's take a look at some recent survey data to get a sense of the national mood.
Okay, at first glance, this looks pretty pessimistic, right? Nearly half the country thinks things are going to get worse. But wait a second, look closer. If you add the 32% who are uncertain or expect no change to the 22% who are optimistic, you realize a majority of people aren't actually convinced that decline is inevitable. There's a lot of uncertainty, for sure, but it's not pure despair.
And this is where it gets really interesting. While only 22% are optimistic about the country's future, a much bigger number, 37%, feel optimistic about their own personal future. It points to this incredible sense of individual resilience, a feeling like, hey, the system might be struggling, but I can adapt and I'll be okay.
So what's driving all this caution? Well, the concerns are probably going to sound pretty familiar. The cost of living is number one, followed by the impact of AI. And right behind that, you've got climate change and global instability. These are big global pressures. But, and this is the crucial point, the one that changes everything. Look at this. Despite all the worries about the economy and politics, a massive 80% of Italians say they have confidence in science and innovation to solve future problems. That deep, fundamental trust in technology and research is the engine behind everything else we're seeing. And that trust, it isn't just talk. Italy is putting serious money and resources into building a future based on science and tech, and it's positioning itself as a really key player in the process. One of the most exciting areas is gene therapy. Now, just so we're all on the same page, this is a revolutionary approach to medicine. Instead of just treating symptoms, gene therapy tries to actually fix diseases at their genetic source, right inside a patient's cells. It's a total game changer. And Italy is all in. The country has poured over 320 million euros into a brand new national research center for gene therapy. This isn't just a small project. This is a massive national commitment to becoming a world leader in the next generation of medicine. And you know what? People are starting to notice. Foreign investment is flowing into the country. And it's not just because of the classic Made in Italy brand anymore. Investors are seeing a highly skilled workforce, a growing tech sector, and a super strategic position in the EU. It's this compelling mix of old strengths and brand new opportunities.
Of course, we can't talk about Italy without talking about culture. It's the country's crown jewel. But the real question now is, how is the nation adapting the way it manages that culture to deal with modern challenges, like over-tourism?
Okay, let's take Rome's Trevi fountain as a perfect example. This number, 10 million, that's roughly how many people visit it every single year. On a busy day, you could have 70,000 people packed into one little piazza. It's not sustainable. So what do you do? Well, starting in 2026, they've come up with a really practical solution. It's going to be a €2 ticket to get up close to the fountain. But here's the key part. It's not about privatizing a public space. Roman residents will still get in for free. It's a smart system to manage the crowds, make it safer, and use the money it generates to actually pay for the monument's upkeep. And Italy isn't just protecting its old culture, it's creating brand new platforms for it. Down in Sicily, the town of Gibellina has been named Italy's first ever capital of contemporary art for 2026. The whole town is being transformed into this year-long open-air laboratory for art, with new exhibitions and performances happening all the time. It's a really bold vision for what culture can be. For our last stop, I want to take you somewhere completely different, high up into the Italian Alps. Because it turns out, even in a country that feels so completely discovered, there are still profound secrets waiting to be found. I mean, it's a totally fair question, isn't it? After thousands of years of history, after all the excavations and all the studies, what else could Italy possibly have hidden away? You'd think we've seen it all. Well, how about this? Over 20,000 dinosaur footprints. They date back 210 million years, and they were just discovered high up in Stelvio National Park. It's an entire migration route for giant herbivores, perfectly preserved in rock walls almost 3 kilometers above sea level. It's a completely mind-blowing discovery that rewrites Italy's story and pushes it way back into deep geological time. So, from unlocking ancient churches with an app, to pioneering gene therapy, to finding dinosaur tracks in the Alps, a whole new picture of Italy starts to come into focus. It's a nation that obviously loves its past, but it's clearly not a prisoner of it. Which really leaves us with one final thought. For a country so famous for what it has already built, maybe its most exciting chapter is the one it's building right now. What do you think will come next?